Yo. You're in the mix.
The world's finest, man. DJ.
Welcome to the Big Rich Movie Review Hour here on YouTube. Every Monday evenings weekly.
Oh my God. Shut the front door.
What?
Sit back as we break down some of our favorite movies and compare opinions and ratings. No, there will be spoilers during the broadcast. Always remember to like, share, and subscribe.
What's good, people? What's good, people? Big Rich here from Big Rich Live on the Mic Radio Show here on YouTube on this channel. Welcome to the, I don't even remember, 4th or 5th installment of Big Rich Movie Review. Today, we are going to discuss a movie which I did not want to see, but I did it for my obligation to so many people who asked for my opinion on this type of movie. I'll explain to you why I didn't want to see the movie during this review. We're going to review Fences. It was a 2006 drama, if you will. It was starring the impeccable Denzel Washington as Troy Maxson and equally as impeccable Viola Davis as his wife Rose Maxson. And like I said, it came out 2016. It's rated PG. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes. It's the score. The IMDb score is 7.5 out of a 10. The Rotten Tomato score was like in the high 80s at the time of this taping. So a lot of people liked it. You know, I'm not going to give my score until at the end, but we'll see what the deal is. But before we start, please like, if you like it, put a thumbs up. Share it to your social media platforms. Remember, our motto here is each one teach one. So push this in your out on your circles. Your social media circles. And subscribe to the channel. We get so many, you know, it's funny. I talk to my daughter all the time, every day, you know, 2 or 3 times a day. She has her channel. And her channel, Rihanna Nikis, it has, you know, she has over 1,000 subscribers. I got like 146, 147, give and take a view. But she was like, well, you know, you have more views than I do. Well, that very well might be true. But obviously, the thousands of people are viewing these shows and not subscribing, so maybe I'm doing something wrong. I don't know what the deal is. So please like, share, and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. The email address to the show for you to send your critiques, for you to send new movies, questions, comments, that type of stuff right there is bigrich.moviereview@gmail.com. That's bigrich.moviereview@gmail.com. So let's just talk about Fences. I'll say it straight up. I don't like these type of movies because, unfortunately, every time I feel that we do something that's a black story, you know what I'm saying, that is starring African-American, you know, people, it's always the same stuff. You know, we know that life for African-Americans is hard. You know, it's hard in 2017. This was supposed to be in the 1950s. So you know they was catching hell back then. You follow what I'm saying? So the one thing is like, damn, you know, every time I see a black show, or not even a black show, just something that is portraying African-American culture or stuff like that, is slaves, hoes, pimps, and just disgruntled people. Now, is that true? You know, disgruntled people, you know, slavery, stuff like that. Yes. But what I say is this: in any other culture, especially the dominant society, 85% of the movies that you go to is based on fantasy. You know, it might be based on a true story, but most of it is bullshit. Most of it is fantasy. Most of it is science fiction, that type of stuff right there. So why can't you have this type of movie? I want to see, you know, a badass, you know, black Dracula like Blade, or some super brother who is like 007 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Not to bite off of the dominant society, but to be like, hey, you know, shoot, you can strive to do more. That's the thing is, you look at movies, and I know I'm going off on a little tangent here, but I promise I'll tie it in at the end. You go to a lot of these movies and stuff, the Jason Bournes, all of this type of stuff right there, Ocean's 11, all of these type of fantasy, science fiction or thing where you could just take the burden that most of all of us wear as a hard hat, take it off, put it to the side, and just relax and laugh and just get away for 2 hours. Because you understand that when you get up and walk out that movie theater, you can't forget that hat, because that hat will follow you around and jump right back on your head or your back, that type of stuff right there. So that's why I don't go to these type of movies. I mean, I wish that I could remember some of the names of films that are pretty much all the same. You know what I'm saying? All the same bullshit. So I really didn't want to go see it. But like I said, I've gotten so many requests. So I was like, you know what? I have it here. So let me go ahead on and sit back and try to stomach it and see what the deal is. And it has nothing to do with the writing or the direction. This is Denzel Washington's directorial debut. So it has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with the script or anything like that. It is just the fact that it is just the fact that you have a situation where, damn, can we see something else? So anyway, so I digress. So like I said, it was based in Pittsburgh, PA, in 1950s. It's Troy Maxson, Denzel Washington, and his wife Viola Davis, Rose. He's a sanitation worker. They call it a waste collector. It's a garbage man. You know what I'm saying? And basically, growing up in the 50s, trying to do the best that he could, the best that he knew how to raise his family. And basically, the show went, and there will be spoilers. There will just a few. But basically, the whole thing was him trying to deal with what he felt was racial injustice and his own failings, to where he put it out to his sons. You know what I'm saying? And his relationship with his son was estranged. This is typical back then. This is 1950. My father was young during that time. I think he was born 1955, 54, 55, right? So I remember my mom used to tell us that his dad, my grandfather, who I never met, who passed away before I was even conceived, never hugged him, never, told him he physically loved him, none of that, So that's how it was in the past. I think it's wrong. I mean, my dad probably told me that he was proud of me maybe once or twice. You follow what I'm saying? He wasn't really at a whole lot of my functions and stuff like that. He tried to do the best he could. But again, look at his upbringing. Okay, so now you fall back into this movie where he started out, in robbery because he had to eat. So he left home early. He became a robber. And then during the robbery, he killed a man, which led to prison. Okay, so now you already in the 1950s, you in the low end of the totem pole. You have no formal education. Now you're a felon. What else are you going to get? You know what I'm saying? So it moved on throughout, methodically moved on to me. Methodically moved on. And it was something where you saw it coming. You know what I'm saying? You saw the interactions between him and Rose, between Troy and Rose. You understood that later on in the show or in the flick that Troy was unfaithful. And basically, they never really touched on it, but I believe that he fell in love with the mistress, okay, because he got her pregnant, and then they had the baby. Now you're talking the 1950s, it's not like, you got an abortion clinic everywhere down the road. So I'm not saying that they wanted it, but it just seemed like, he fell in love with her. And then basically it was a situation where, okay, this is my responsibility. So you have my money, you know, you have my protection, but this other woman has my love and affection, if you will. So unfortunately, the mistress died during childbirth. She went into labor early. She died, and then he winds up bringing the baby home for Rose, his wife, to basically raise. Now, again, those are the signs of the times. You know, I mean, I guess some people will say, well, what was she going to say? You know, it's not the baby's fault. But so she wind up taking the baby in and raising the baby as her own. But she still had a situation where she never allowed Troy back in her life and emotional. So it was basically a situation where they were just two people passing in the night, you know, which was sort of like you sort of saw it coming, if you will. You follow what I'm saying? So basically, as he progressed, you know, he got a promotion, but it was always, you felt that he wasn't going to go so far. He could not read or write. He didn't have a driver's license, but he did get promoted from throwing the trash to driving a truck, right? But his relationship with his wife, the person who had his back, the person who held him down, that relationship was ruined beyond repair. And then the son, it got so bad that the son, when Troy died, when he passed away of a heart attack, the son, who was in the military at that particular time, came home and tell his mom that he basically didn't give a damn about his dad and that he wasn't going to the funeral. So basically, the mom did her best. You see that she was the matriarch of the family. Yes, he was the one who brought home the butter, you know, and he protected, but she basically was the glue that held the family together. And she basically begged him to reconsider his decision and basically tell him that, hey, you know, I still loved your father despite his many flaws. You follow what I'm saying? So it's a situation where you have, you know, a beat down man. Okay, because that's basically what it seemed like. He did the best he could, but he was beat down. And it's funny, to me, it solidifies, and I can't even call it a stereotype, but it solidifies when certain people of the conscious community say that some of our parents, some of our grandparents have done us a disservice. They have not taught us how to fight and get our own. They have taught us to capitulate, to keep your head down, to get a job, to get along, to go along type thing. And yes, those are things that you have to, especially when you're dealing with a dominant society, you know what I'm saying, who outnumbers you crazy numbers, you know, but you have to learn how to fight for yourself. And all through the whole flick, you always saw Troy doing things to not only stop himself, but to stop his kids from achieving. My thing is this, and I tell people all the time, I'm a college graduate, I'm a veteran, I own my own business, I just retired, okay? I want my daughter to achieve more than me. She's a college graduate, she's a veteran, she has her own career. She may or may not have her own business at one time. She does things. I want more for her than what I got. There might have been a little jealousy between Troy and his son because during the beginning, when you found out that Troy was a very talented baseball player, but look, it was the 1950s. He wasn't going to make it to the major leagues. Then when the color barrier got broke by Jackie Robinson, a lot of people felt that Troy didn't make it to the league because of his advanced age. Well, Troy felt that it was because of the color of his skin. It could have been both. I got it that it was both. You know, the color of his skin made his age stick out more. You follow what I'm saying? Where I can't tell you I'm not going to snatch you up because of the color of your skin, but I can tell you that I'm not going to snatch you up because you're too old. That type of stuff right there. But his son had scouts rolling. He was playing on his football team. He was really, really good. So you would think that the dad would push for him to achieve. But what he did was he caused roadblocks, and to me, it came off as petty and jealous. And the thing is this, if you are not respected, loved and respected, or some parents say respected and loved by your kids, what's the sense of having them? That's my thing. What's the sense of having them? You need to prepare your children to be better than you, to achieve more than you. That doesn't mean that they're going to, but that just means that they have to be, or you have to push them to give them the opportunity to be better than you. And, that wasn't it. So because I didn't like it, I recused myself from giving it a score at first, but then I'll give it a solid B+ because it was a good movie. It was a good movie. It was a good story. It was well directed. The screenplay was good. The acting was excellent. Here in Oscars, they up for Oscar nominations. They won some Image Awards. They won, the SAG Awards. They won. They was up to they was nominated for those. So it definitely is I would say a 7.5. I'll agree with the IMDb, and I'll give it a solid B+, B to a B+. But that's just not my type of movie. So basically, if I didn't have this show and I didn't have so many people asking me to review it, I wouldn't have seen it, and I probably can say with 100% certainty that I probably won't watch it again. So that's just me. So I appreciate you guys giving me this time. I hope this wasn't too much of a high horse soapbox type thing. Like I said, it was a good movie. If this is your type of movie, you need to go see it. Right now, I think it's still in selected theaters, but I know it's on. If it's not on now, it should be on demand. That type of stuff right there. Stream it. Redbox. That type of stuff is definitely a flick that you can see with your significant other if this is your type of movies. So in the meantime, in between time, stay blessed, stay woke, stay safe. Peace. I'm out of here.